99.5 FM in Kumasi, affiliates across the country, including ATL FM in Cape Coast, Kekeli Radio in Ho. It's on ABN Radio in London and around the world at myjoyonline.com. The news is brought to you by UMB Bank, UMB Speed Up, Digibank, Let's Go, and Telesol 4G. Just a touch. In this edition, Electoral Commission comes under increasing criticism from civil society for its insistence on procuring new voters register as opposition parties continue to pile pressure on the commission to back down.
Anytime we have to go and register again for a new register, the long queues, the time, people have to travel up and down.
The main reason no one should take their intransigence lightly is that the resulting damage from a failed new register is irreparable.
Meanwhile, the Commission continues to justify its decision to go ahead as it explores new options.
Commission is still exploring if it will be possible. If it will be possible to be able to migrate all those information on the old data center or the one we are currently using onto a new one.
Also in this edition, Ashanti Region Police interdicts officer who allegedly shot a football fan at Babayara Sports Stadium. We have more as we bring you details of the condition of the victim, Akwesi Opong, who is in critical condition. Then trainee teachers who picketed premises of the Ghana Education Service arrested for failing to inform the police of their action.
Within a short time, we gather information that police are around. So the police start driving us away from our post. And then we don't know the major reason why they are driving us away.
We are live on the ground where the trainees claim the police beat and electrocuted them in a bid to sack them from the GA's office. And as the multimedia group rolls out series of activities to mark 25 years of excellence broadcasting, listeners, workers and clients have been sharing their joy stories.
A woman heard me preach and she said she wants our church to be planted over there. That is how come Victory Bible Church has been in Holland and Belgium. It is because of Joy FM.
We'll hear from some of them as the company hosts Thanksgiving service to begin year-long celebrations. We have all that and more here on the Midday News with me, Emefa Apawu. Details now. The Electoral Commission is coming under increasing criticism from civil society for its insistence on procuring a new voters register for the 2020 elections. Opposition parties led by the National Democratic Congress continue to pile pressure on the Commission to back down on its decision as they question the timing and the cost. Over the weekend, the parties led hundreds onto the streets of the northern regional capital, Tamale, to register their displeasure. Here's a wrap.
The demonstration was dubbed Siku Sagri, We Will Resist. Organizers are impressed with the turnout.
We are indeed overwhelmed, and that is what we wanted to achieve. We wanted to make a very loud statement to the government and to the Electoral Commission.
The national chairman of the NDC, Samuel Ofosu Ampofo, questioned why the EC appears to be in a haste to compile a new register when the population census is yet to be conducted. Other speakers included the minority leader.
What is wrong with the register? Is it not the same register that produced Nana Addo as president of Ghana? The real question is legitimacy. Is that what they are inviting us to do?
The NDC General Secretary.
We cannot struggle to build a democracy for 30 years only to allow one individual to just come and break everything apart. So this is the beginning of a long drawn battle to protect the democracy.
They're looking to hit the Ashanti regional capital Kumasi and the nation's capital Accra with series of demonstrations.
Now, civil society actors are unhappy with the posturing of the commission, saying the electoral body ought to consider the concerns being raised and act accordingly. Law lecturer and private legal practitioner Clara Berry Kasati says compiling a new register has implications on the citizenry who may have to queue to register.
Yes, there's the issue of the cost. There's also the issue of the inconvenience that taxpayers go through that nobody seems to talk about. Anytime we have to vote to go and register again for a new register, the long queues, the time, the resources, people have to travel up and down to their constituencies and all of that. We can't disrespect that. To behave as if that doesn't matter. It's more or less disrespecting the people because their convenience and their time matters. If it is for a good reason, why not? But in this case, is that really a good reason?
On his part, law lecturer Justice Shremsai describes the EC's argument in favor of a new register as extremely weak. Here are extracts of a post he published on the matter.
This EC has not been able to even publish the results of the last general elections over 3 years down the line. Yet, they are here telling you that they can create an entirely new voter register with a facial recognition whatnot and issue new voter ID cards in just a few months to the general elections. So quite apart from the extremely weak argument they have been making in support of a new voters register, the EC people have been terrible at meeting critical timelines. But the main reason no one should take their intransigence lightly is that the resulting damage from a failed new register is irreparable.
But speaking on the Super Morning Show, Deputy EC Chairperson Dr. Eric Bosman-Asare insisted going ahead with the existing voters register will pose a huge challenge for the 2020 elections. He says it's more prudent to make changes to the register to ensure its credibility.
The Commission noticed that moving forward in the interest of our democracy, it will be better for us to be able to have a new register, have new equipment, etc. And based on the discussion we also had with our other consultants internally and externally, it became very clear that to go ahead with the current equipment, specifically the data center, we have the biometric verification devices and biometric voter registration equipment, we'll be having a lot of challenges. So it will be better for us to have a new one. And once we do that, we'll be able to have a register that is credible going into the election.
Doc, how does the replacement of equipment mean that the data that you have has to be compiled again? Isn't that like saying, because I bought a new mobile phone, I have to go to all my contacts and take their phone numbers again, as opposed to simply updating the system from a cloud backup?
Currently, we use the fingerprints to verify voters. So what we noticed was that, that where we keep the register, the data center, the vendors made us aware that it cannot move us forward going into 2020. Even from 2018, that's when they said that, the data center. So in the thinking of the Commission, we came to the conclusion that the data center must be replaced. And this is where you keep the register. And those who understand the technology will tell you that it has reached a level where you can no longer service it. All the servers are now antiquated. You can no longer replace them. So it was better to replace the entire data center structure, where you are going to keep your registers. So based on that, we noticed that if we wanted to add another feature, which is the facial, what it actually means is that you have to have a new thing. But what this commission is doing is that the commission is still exploring if it will be possible. If it will be possible to be able to migrate all those information on the old data center or the one we are currently using onto a new one. So that what will happen is that on the day of registration, we may end up adding only the facial feature. If that is feasible, the commission will go ahead and do that.
There are a number of political parties who are protesting this, and you have said that you will continue to engage them. But have you shared this consultant's report with any of these parties?
Oh, we've shared this concerns, and we've also, in our press, we did a press conference on December 31st, and all these things I've stated, they are clearly embedded in the report. They are clearly there. So at the commission, we strongly believe that, it's politics as usual. People may look at it from different angles. But I would say persuasively and perhaps convincingly that I think the commission is doing the right thing.
You heard the Deputy EC Commissioner, Dr. Eric Bosman-Asare. Well, the NDC's Director of Elections, Elvis Ifiankra, says the EC boss has been economical with the truth and has never shared the consultant's report with the parties. He joins us live. We're grateful for your time here on the Midday News, Mr. Ifiankra. So for the purposes of clarity, which consultant's report are you referring to?
So we're referring to both the internal report of the EC that they claim they have and the consultant's reports. We went for a meeting with them on the 2nd of December. That was another emergency meeting where they stated the reasons why they wanted to compile a new register. And some of the reasons were that they needed a new data center and the cost of replacement was going to be higher than the cost of a new equipment. So we asked for three things. One, those consultants report both internal and external. We asked for the cost of replacing the register, and we asked for the cost of upgrading. These are three things we asked for. And all the political parties agreed on that. We followed up then with a letter asking for these specific things. To date, as I speak to you, they have never responded to us. They have never given us any information. It was after that that they invited us to a tender review meeting. And that is why boycotted, we walked out of that meeting, or we do not have the relevant information for us to be able to make informed decisions. And it's so shocking that Dr. Bosman will come on and deceive the entire public. They have never shared any of this information to us. Administratively, when a political party, a major stakeholder writes to you for information and you promise in a meeting that you're going to give it to us, you haven't even had the courtesy to respond. What are they hiding? What are they afraid of? I heard them this morning, throwing out some figures. It was supposed to be, it's going to cost some 9,000, and they realize on the fair market value it's going to cost less than that. Why have they not given us this information so that we can all sit down and make informed analysis? What is it that they are hiding?
But it's interesting you say that he's not giving you that report, because he mentions categorically that this report has been provided. They've given it to all the political parties, and that what we're hearing is just politics as usual.
And I'm saying that he lied. I didn't want to use that word, but I'm telling you, it was a blatant lie. He lied on Joy FM this morning. It is a lie. We wrote a letter. We asked for it. They promised to give it to us. All the political parties agreed. Perhaps maybe they've shared it to the MPP. I don't know. But we asked for it, wrote a letter, and specifically asked them. Even on the day of the demonstration, we asked them, we want to respond. Those 3 documents, the so-called consultants report, the cost of the equipment upgrade, and the cost of the new one, which you said is going to be cheaper. Let us have those reports so that we can make informed decisions. They have never given it to us. So he lied. He's deceiving the public.
Well, the EC is insistent on procuring the register, despite the criticism against it. You were in Tamale over the weekend, and we know that there's a number of activities also lined up to get the EC to back down. Are you confident that will happen?
Oh, yes. We are going to escalate. What happened in Tamale was just the first phase, and we were in second gear. By the time we get to Accra, we'll be in seventh gear. There are a number of activities lined up, and you'll be hearing from us in the next 24 hours. We'll tell you the next stage and the things that we want to do. We are not going to back down. The solution is for them to be open, transparent. Let's sit down as political parties. They are not the only persons who have knowledge about IT systems. All of us, today, so many independent people have come out to say what they are saying doesn't make sense. So let's all sit down, look at the issues. It is taxpayers' money. It's not their personal money. It's not IEA that they can run it any way they want.
We're grateful for your time. That's the Director of Elections of the NDC, Elvis Ifrie Ankra.
We had a message on our phone on Friday that GES said we should come to their headquarters with all our documents for verification for them to post us. But the police prevented us from entering, so we entered there with force.
So they say they were invited there by authorities at the Ghana Education Service for a meeting regarding their postings, but some of them ended up being arrested. That's the fate of some leaders of the Unposted Graduate Teacher Trainees Association who led their members to the GES offices to demand postings. For now, some 7 of them are the regional police headquarters answering questions regarding their action to mass up without prior notification. PRO of the association, Asante Ajiman Solomon, however, insists they had a call from the Human Resource Directorate of the GES for a meeting.
The Human Resource Management Director is in charge of everything. The message, we have everything on my phone. We were here, we talked to them, they come to us and then they say they don't know anything about the message as at 6 a.m. And then we sit quietly to waiting for the executives on board to come and join us, and then we move. During the journey, we moved to the secretary of the HR, and then the person said he doesn't know anything about it. They come out within a short time, we gather information that police are around. So the police start driving us away from our post. And then we don't know the major reason why they are driving us away.
Well, PSC Nanaya Safo is with the Unposted Graduate Teacher Trainees and joins us on the line. So, PSC, we've heard the teachers claim they were invited by officials at the GES, but the police say that's not the case. Tell us more.
Yes, indeed. The police maintain that, in fact, the message and that we haven't heard from the GES officially, but through the police, they have communicated to the media that all messages out there saying that they had invited all these teachers for the meeting this morning at 6 a.m. is indeed, as a matter of fact, from their end, at least fake news, and that should be disregarded for all intents and purposes. Right now, we are here at the Accra Regional Police Headquarters, where police are yet to confirm the nature of the persons who have been arrested. And in fact, we also had claims from some of the members, that's the coalition of unposted trained teachers, that many of these people had been mishandled, many of them had been abused. Some of them say they had been electrocuted. We are here to ascertain those facts, and very soon we'll be getting to the police head here.
We were not here because of demonstration, but we are here because of the message that we received on Friday on our phones. Then the police came and told us that we should leave the yard. And we told the police they should wait because we wanted Director General or the HRMD to come and talk to us for us to know how sure the message is. So as we said this, the police got annoyed and arrested some of our colleagues and dragged us from the yard. We went to stand at the bus stop. The police came there to drag us by using their electric shock or whatever to kick us. So some of the guys said, "Oh, why are you people doing this to us? We are all Ghanaians." As the guy said it gingered the police, and the police pushed him, boot him, and dragged him on the ground and arrested him.
So that's the situation at the police headquarters here in Accra. My colleague P.S. Nanaya Asafo is following that development and will bring you more on the unposted graduate teachers who have been arrested. You're still listening to the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. Let's head to the Ashanti region now. Coast Police there has interdicted the officer who had allegedly shot a football fan at the Babayara Sports Stadium yesterday. In a statement released a while ago, the regional command said the action is part of investigations into the incident, which is treating with all seriousness deserved. The incident occurred when supporters of Kumasi Asante Kotoko went on rampage after losing their league match against Brekum Chelsea FC. The football fan, who has been identified as Kwesi Opong, is currently being treated for a severely damaged eye. Nana Asenso Mensah has been interacting with doctors there and joins us on the line. Nana Asenso, tell us more. What did you discover?
Yeah, Emefa, thank you. When we got to the hospital, Konfarache Hospital, the Accident and Emergency Center to be precise, we saw the victim, who was identified as Kwesi Opong, and then he was on the sick bed at the Accident and Emergency Center. We have the red, and the yellow, and then the green. So he was at the red, meaning the situation is very serious. And then we interacted with some doctors who couldn't give us all the information that we needed, but they told us that the victim's right eye is somehow severely damaged, and then although he's responding to treatment, but they are still waiting for the eye specialist to confirm whether the eye could be replaced or not. But what they told us is that the eye has been damaged.
You also got to interact with the wife of Akwesi Sapon. What did he tell you? What did she tell you?
Yeah, she told us that the news came to her as a shock, and then she is yet to come to terms with the situation, and then she got to hear the situation, the news this morning. Even the incident happened yesterday, but she just heard it this morning, and then they have two kids, and then she's yet to even come to terms with the situation.
I thank God for my husband. He is responding to treatment. I thank the officials. We have 3 children together, and he is our breadwinner. We don't know how we will be able to survive while he's in this state. He was hit by the bullet, but I don't know if it damaged his eye. He is a trotro driver.
You heard the wife of Kwesi Opong, and you heard earlier my colleague Nana Asenso Mensah. Hans Mensando joins us in studio. There's several strands to this particular issue. What more do we know?
Well, very unfortunate incident yesterday at the Babayara Sports Stadium, and the police, of course, have released a statement, and it says that it takes a serious view of the incident and has subsequently commenced investigation into the action of the police officer who was involved in the shooting. The officer has been interdicted on the instruction of the regional commander pending investigation. It also says that the command will also like to reiterate its position on the need for professionalism of all persons involved in ensuring the safety of persons at public events, especially at the stadium. And it concludes that any person who has information pictures or videos on the incident should send it to the following number, that's 0244 288 019, with same to assist with the investigation. Joining me is my colleague Gary Al Smith, and we'll take a quick look at what the action from the FA is likely to be and what steps are going to happen from now until we hear from the Ghana Football Association. Of course, they've released a statement
condemning, yes, the incident. But it's important to put it in context that it was only 2 weeks ago that the leadership of the Ghana Football Association met the hierarchy of the Ghana Police Service with the view on dealing and laying down structures and procedures for things like this. So they met, and there were pictures of the leadership of the GFA and the police in that meeting. Now, all this comes on the back of the new administration led by Keto Kreku. Remember, in his manifesto, he had said that he was going to liaise with the police to set up what essentially amounts to a special stadium security task force that will deal with before, during, and after games incidents, and trying to keep the sanity at games like this. So what is going to happen is largely going to be dependent on the structures that they laid in those meetings 2 weeks ago.
What steps from now until people are calling for the FA to take action? And
yes, but that's what I'm saying. This is now a criminal matter.
Okay,
this is not criminal. Yes, beyond that. But it's important to realize that they can't take any action in a vacuum. One, they have to take action with evidence.
Okay,
the police have called for videos and things to be given to them. Right. It is when they have that they can share information, and then they say that, oh, we are now banning Kotoko, or we are holding this person responsible, or so and so forth.
What about the Match Commissioner's report? Very important also, right?
That's key. So the Match Commissioner's angle comes in because, remember, the reason why this happened is that supporters of Kotoko were said to be angry that a player was given a yellow card that they were unhappy about.
Okay.
And so that is why they reacted. So the Match Commissioner's report will now determine whether the supporters were right in being angry, whether the ref was right in giving that, and all boils down to video evidence as well.
And of course, there will be more later in the day on Sports Track at
1:10. Okay. We have 4 eyewitnesses to this, and we'll speak to them on the Joy Sports Track at 1:10 p.m.
That's your sports.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Hans and Gary. We'll take a quick break here on the Midday News. When we return, we'll tell you why Parliament's Public Accounts Committee appearance today has been called off. We'll tell you more about it. And as the Multimedia Group rolls out series of activities to mark 25 years of excellent broadcasting, listeners, workers, and clients have been sharing their joy stories.
A woman heard me preach, and she said she wants our church to be planted over there. That is how come Victory Bible Church has been in Holland and Belgium. It is because of Joy FM.
UMB was established in 1972 as the premier bank for the corporate and private sector in Ghana. From our very beginning, as the only Ghanaian bank serving all categories of businesses, we set a standard for excellence and innovation over the past 45 years. We've built a financially healthy and strong bank, demonstrated our commitment to our customers and to growing businesses, and exhibited originality and innovation at every turn. At UMB, our focus is built around people, service, products, and technology. These are the key to our present success and our future triumphs. At UMB, we're poised to make a difference not only with our customers, but also in the banking industry. We invite you to share in our future. Our future starts now with you.
Welcome back, and thanks for staying with us here on the Midday News. Doctors in Ghana have successfully performed the first surgery which saved a pregnant woman diagnosed with cervical cancer and an unborn baby. An easy choice the medical team which operated on the 41-year-old woman was to abort the 4-month-old pregnancy and remove Agnes Dufie's cancerous cervix and womb. But as highlighted in our latest documentary, Cervix in Crisis by Seth Kwame Boateng, the doctors chose the rather difficult route. Led by obstetric gynecology oncologist at the Komfo Anokye Teaching Hospital, Dr. Thomas Coney, the doctors decided to rather keep the pregnancy. We'll bring you excerpts of that shortly here on the Midday News.
This is something that can be prevented, and unfortunately we allow our people to go through this, and I don't know what value we place on the life of a Ghanaian.
Right.
If we value the life of every single Ghanaian, what does it speak to our conscience that we allow people to continue to suffer this way and die of something that can be prevented? And I think it's high time we look at it, because it's not something that is only affecting Ghanaians. It is something that was elsewhere, but in the developed world, the nations came together and took a decision.
Yeah.
You have countries that have decided, no more, our people are not going to die of this. And they took national decisions that have reversed the trend. What do we see in our situation? Each family suffers on their own, the caregivers suffer on their own and struggle with the patient till they pass on. There is no national concerted effort by authority to try and handle this. And I think it is time that at an opportune time like this, all those who can have a say in this, i.e. government, the Ministry of Health, the National Health Insurance Authority, and all of us, civil society, everybody must get involved in this.
Right.
And we must decide as a nation that enough is enough. If we can prevent this, let us prevent it.
That's consultant obstetric gynecologist at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, Dr. Titus Bayo. He told us from Morning Show it is disappointing that so little is done about a rather preventable disease. Let's head to Parliament now, because a scheduled appearance of the MMD officials from the Central Region before the Public Accounts Committee has been called off after the officials failed to show up. My colleague Joseph Opoku-Gakpo joins us on the line with details of that. But let's hear more from today's hearings.
It's supposed to be attended by all the assemblies cited in the report from the Central Region to appear. Unfortunately, the regional minister says that he has not received the invitation. We try to cross-check from other regions if they have received theirs, because all the letters were sent the same day, on the 6th of January. And other regions have confirmed: Greater Accra, Volta, Eastern, and other regions that we have invited. Actually, we have already dealt with the regions in the northern part of the country, and then also sent Ashanti and then Brown Hako region. We've dealt with all those regions. It's now with Eastern region, Greater Accra, Volta, Oti. All of them have confirmed receiving the invitation, except Central region.
You heard the chairman of the Public Accounts Committee, James Kluche Aveji. Now, as the multimedia group rolls out a series of activities to mark 25 years of excellent broadcasting, listeners, workers, and clients have been sharing their joy stories. In the following report, we hear from Presiding Bishop of Victory Bible Church International, Bishop Nitaki Yaboy, who has his church has many branches in Holland and Belgium today because he began preaching on this network 24 years ago.
About 24 years ago, and a woman heard me preach, and she called, and she said she wants our church to be planted over there. And that is how come for almost 23 years, Victory Bible Church has been in Holland and Belgium. It is because of Joy FM. So if for nothing at all, I'm grateful to God for Joy FM and this great multimedia.
We'll hear more of your joy stories. Please keep them coming via WhatsApp on 0244340437. What are people talking about on social media, Mapitso?
Well, people are talking about that video of the National Security Minister, Albert Kandapa, and at Trilano says, so our entire national security was compromised by just a video call. And a woman at Selomoy says, seeing lots of support for hashtag Kandapa, particularly from men. Nice. Guys, keep that same energy when it's a female public figure chatting with her tall boy. And at Helicopter Man says, when you want a meeting with a minister, you'll go around to get an appointment. Meanwhile, someone is turning them around on social media. Law hashtag Kandapa.
You're officially Ghanaian, Mapitso. And that's it for the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. There's more news when you log on to myjoyonline.com. I am Emefa Apawu. Thanks so much for your company.